Executive English for CIOs, defining material incidents fast. Welcome. Today we'll nail down what material means for technology incidents. Why care? Material incidents shift business risk. They change the company's exposure to loss, liability, or trust. If you're a CIO, you need clear, defensible wording so your team can act fast, and your statements stand up to board scrutiny and audits. The goal is to align language with the board and regulators, so everyone shares a common trigger for escalation, disclosure, and recovery. By the end, you'll have a practical way to define materiality that speeds decisions and reduces debate when the stakes are high. For CIOs, think of materiality as a threshold. An incident is material when it could alter operations or enterprise value beyond an agreed line. The scope must be broad, include financial impact, legal exposure, and customer trust, because churn and compliance fines can hurt as much as downtime. Add a time element. Distinguish acute shocks, e.g., a 2-hour outage on a flagship product, from sustained harm, e.g., degraded performance for a month. Clear thresholds, wide scope, and explicit duration give you a defensible basis for escalation and disclosure. Use a repeatable sentence to cut ambiguity. An incident is material when, follow with 3 parts. First, state the metric plus threshold plus duration. For example, revenue impact is greater than or equal to 1% in a week, or Tier 1 outage greater than 60 minutes. Second, name affected assets or stakeholders, systems, data classes, customers, partners, or jurisdictions. Third, add any mandatory regulatory or contractual triggers. Put it together. An incident is material when Tier 1 checkout availability drops below 95% for over 60 minutes, affecting more than 20% of active customers in regulated regions. Pick numbers leaders can trust. Examples: revenue at risk. Estimated loss is greater than or equal to 1% in a week, gives finance a clear bar. Service outage. Tier 1 service unavailable for greater than 60 minutes, or error rate above X% for Y minutes. Data exposure, count records and label sensitivity, greater than 10,000 customer records with identifiers, or any exposure of encryption keys. Regulatory triggers, breach that meets notification criteria under relevant laws. Quantification turns debates like, is this big, into, it crossed the line, escalate now. Numbers aren't the whole story. Add context to reflect real-world risk, customer impact, expected churn, support spikes, or SLA penalties, safety or mission-critical functions. Even small disruptions are high risk if they affect healthcare, payments, or public services. Reputational reach. Will it hit the press or social media beyond your customer base? Concentration risk. A single point failure or a critical vendor outage can amplify damage. Combine metric plus context to avoid false negatives. Some small incidents are materially risky because of who and what they touch. Predefine red/amber/green RAG bands so teams move fast without waiting for consensus. Red means notify the board now, engage crisis comms, legal, and regulators as required. Amber means escalate and monitor, with hourly updates, executive visibility, and remediation owners assigned. Green means handle within runbooks, with standard incident management and post-incident review. Publish the criteria, examples, and roles. When the color is obvious, response time drops, accountability rises, and noisy debates disappear. Avoid weak terms like major, significant, or serious. They invite arguments. Prefer strong wording with numbers, time, and scope. Tier 1 checkout, unavailable, greater than 60 minutes, affecting greater than 20% of active users in the EU. Add examples for common scenarios. Ransomware encrypts finance systems. S3, exposure of 15,000 customer records. Identity provider outage for 90 minutes. Strong language shortens detection to decision time and stands up to audits, board reviews, and regulator questions. Define materiality with a crisp, measurable statement your teams can apply under pressure. Combine metrics plus context plus duration so you capture both hard numbers and situational risk. Lock in pre-approved thresholds with R/AG bands and include concrete examples to guide judgment. When the trigger is clear, escalation is fast, disclosures are defensible, and recovery starts sooner. Your next step: draft your model sentence, align it with finance, legal, and compliance, and publish it in your incident playbooks.